for the horror with your hostess with the mostest, Jonabelle, as always. So we are going to be finishing up our franchise review. Yes, I said finishing up because I am not talking about that damn Psycho remake, that pathetic excuse of a remake. So sorry if I broke any hearts, whatever. But anyway, we are going to be talking about our made-for-TV movie, Psycho 4, The Beginning. So yeah, this is, very much kind of like a partial prequel, I have to say. Basically, it is a prequel in a way, with flashes to Norman's past, with his mother, his actual relationship with his mother, who is played by Olivia Hussey. And the kid from E.T.'s in here as a young Norman Bates. Fun little fact. Anyway, so yeah, this was a made-for-TV movie. This was brought to us by the Showtime Network, who also brought us, I know other things. I know another one, very well-known one, is the movie Body Bags, John Carpenter's anthology movie and everything. But yeah, so little made-for-TV movie. Interesting little movie, Psycho 4. Now I gotta be honest. Psycho 4, another one of those movies where I'm like, I definitely don't necessarily hate it. I mean, there are things where I'm kind of like, really? This is kind of what we're doing with the Psycho series. But even as much as I'm kind of like that, where there's like certain things I'm like, really? It's still a really good movie. It's still really kind of, I feel like moves along and concludes the Psycho story pretty effectively. Could it have been better? Probably. Could it have been worse? Absolutely. But no, I mean, it's a decent little ending to our franchise and everything. And this is, this is something that I have to agree with on, Monty G, I believe. Hang on a second. I just want to get his name correctly to give him props. Because I was going to say that a while ago, this person, Monty G, actually, Mr. Monty G, the horror micer Monty G. That's it. I knew there was more to his name. Go check him out, by the way. He does some WWE stuff. He talks about different horror movies. I know he just did a live stream with Nightmare Maven, blah, blah, blah. Does horror packs and stuff. But I know he did a video within the last couple of months. I think another one of those kind of like tag videos. And one of the questions was, what's your ideal number of sequels or number of movies in a franchise do you think is probably like the best amount? And he was saying kind of like maybe probably like between 3 to 4, 3 to 5 movies or installments in a franchise. And I even told him back then too, I was like, I really agree. And I feel like this is one of those franchises where it really kind of does prove like 3 to 4 movies within a franchise is a really good number, because I feel like you can still kind of expand on the story, the myth and legend of a franchise, while also kind of staying true to the actual origin story itself. So, but yeah, Psycho 4, definitely, like I said, it's kind of like our prequel to Psycho and everything. We get glimpses in Norman's past with his mother and everything, and kind of like his upbringing with his mother. And we kind of really see like why he's so kind of like weirdly obsessed with his mother. Like they had almost like an incestuous relationship without actually being incestual at all. It's just very like his mother, Norma, oh my god, like Olivia Hussey, just a brilliant actress, first off, and she just plays this sophisticated kind of crazy just beautifully. Like, I believed her in this part, like she did an amazing job. She really did. But yeah, I mean, we kind of see the relationship with them and everything. And she was very, like, the way that she would interact with Norman would be almost like the same way where it's almost like flirtatious and playful, almost like you would try when you first meet someone who you're very attracted to. Just, being very playful, kind of flirtatious and everything, kind of rolling on the ground and everything. And of course she doesn't realize, because, because she's kind of batshit crazy, that you shouldn't be interacting with your son like this in the way that she does. It's really inappropriate, borderline, like I said, incestuous. Like, they literally stop just short of, like, boning each other, basically. So, which I'm glad they didn't do that, because I think, as messed up as Norman Bates is, I just feel like that would have been, like, really out of place for the Psycho franchise and everything. But yeah, we kind of see how, like, messed up she even is. I know even at one point, I think towards the end, because Norman is actually kind of like retelling his life on this radio station and everything, and he uses the name Ed, which is very appropriate because the book and the original movie were kind of inspired by Ed Gein, who did very similar things. So I thought that was like a nice little like nod of like the original source material and everything. Not so much of like idol or like, tipping their hat off it to Ed Gein because that guy was a sick fuck. But anyway, he even kind of says at one point, because he's like, a lot of this is being brought up again with Norman, a lot of his like, tendencies and triggers for wanting to kill again, because somehow between the third one, being in the insane asylum again and trying to recover, he met someone and got married. So, way to go, Norman. Okay, there is hope for all the psychos out there. So, I'm just saying, there's light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, he finds out that his wife's pregnant, and, he's very upset by this, because, he's like, I told her before we even got married, I don't want kids, I don't want kids because I don't want the craziness to be passed down to them. So once again, you do kind of see, with this, like, there is that side of Norman where, there is that kind of, like, logical head on his shoulders of, like, oh, this could be passed down to my kid. And he even says, the doctor said that my mental illness, is the kind that is passed down to your offspring. So he's like, I don't want to, I got it from my mom. I don't want to pass it down to my kid. Like, no, like, this is why I don't want a kid, blah, blah, blah. So it's just, he's, those sort of, I don't want to say like normal, but those sort of like fears of knowing that you're going to have a kid. And it's kind of like, oh my God, how is this kid going to turn out? Am I going to mess them up and everything? So, but yeah, so a lot of this is kind of like making him reflect back to his childhood and everything, like I said, his relationship with his mother, and like, it really kind of made him confused in so many ways, especially towards women and everything. Because like I said, his mother just would, kind of interact with him pretty inappropriately, not like how a mother should with her son. Like I said, it literally like, borderline almost incest throughout this movie. And I think a lot of like that, like I said, is just more of like Norma's state of mind and everything. She's almost sort of like, possibly schizophrenic or multiple personality disorders or dissociation disorder and stuff. So but yeah, and even like when Norma brings home like a guy from the bar or something and starts, it's like, oh, they're dating and stuff. Norman then gets jealous, which kind of rightfully so, because it's like, well, wait a second, that's my mom. It's not like a typical sort of jealousy with the kid when your mom brings home or like your parent brings home someone else that isn't, like your mother or father. You get some of that jealousy. It's like, it's more passionate. It's almost like, it's like, what the hell, but yeah, no, it's an interesting dynamic. It really kind of shows an insight of how Norman became Norman. We see how he killed his mother by poisoning her and her boyfriend and everything. So, but yeah, it's a really good one. It's a, like I said, it's a good sort of closure to the series and everything. And by the end of it, you know, we really see Norman kind of finally be free of his mother. He actually tells his wife to meet him at his mother's house. He burns down the house and everything, and it's just kind of like symbolic of like, okay, this is it. This is the end. Like, and he even says, "I'm finally free. I am finally free." So yeah, good little movie, good little franchise and everything. And I like this series because with watching the series, definitely you do see a lot of things, quite a few things that were drawn from each movie that was then in turn used for Bates Motel. So pretty interesting though. I definitely like this franchise. You know what I gotta say? Like, I've definitely kind of come around for parts 3 and 4, because I know initially I was kind of like, parts 3 and 4 on social media, I'm like, God, I can't do those. Like, God, I just find them boring. They're really not that bad when you are watching them pretty, like, close together, like I have over the last few weeks. Terrific little story, terrific little franchise of films. Let me know what you guys think of Psycho 4 and the rest of the Psycho franchise. What's your favorite Psycho sequel? Let me know. Let me know. Till next time, you guys, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.